Hi friends, welcome back. It has been a bit, but we have a glorious day today outside, so we are going to be taking advantage of it. It has been gloomy and very cold for the last probably week and a half, and it's supposed to get up to like 68 today, so I'm super excited. We have a ton of things to get done. I have a bunch of stuff on my list. We're just going to get started and run down and see how much we can get done. All right, so first up on the list, we are going to be sorting all of my seeds, and we're going to see what I can take out into the greenhouse and what I can up pot. So out in the greenhouse, it's not getting below freezing anymore. It is still getting below freezing outside, but the greenhouse tends to stay about 10 degrees warmer than whatever it is outside. And it's been probably between 28 and 30 outside, so it's not getting anywhere close to freezing inside the greenhouse. So that means I can move some of the cooler weather things out into the greenhouse, free up some space inside so that I can get more seeds started inside. All right, so this is the state of most of my seedlings right now. I just brought these in to the greenhouse from the seed starting station inside. As you can see, all of my onions are over here. I would like to be putting these out into the ground soon, but it's going to be a couple of more weeks just because it's going to take us a little bit to get the beds in the greenhouse all set up. So those are being put on hold, but they'll be just fine. They're starting to get pretty big, which is awesome. But they're still looking great, and they are frost tolerant, so they can go out into the greenhouse. I probably could have moved them out here a little bit ago, but now it's fine too. And then look at all these peppers, y'all. So this is the celery that I had, and I actually got some pretty good germination with it. You can see I accidentally got a little bit of celery seeds in one of my pepper slots. The eggplant is looking great. And the peppers are starting to get their true leaves. And so I want to get those up potted today. All right, so these are the tomatoes that I started for the water wall experiment. And as you can see, they are ready to be up potted. They have a couple of strands of true leaves. Most of them do. This one's a tomatillo, that's why it looks a little bit different. And then I have my basil starts over here as well. So the tomatoes are ready to start up potting. The ground cherries I'll probably leave there for a little bit, but these tomatoes I need to get them into bigger pots. And then these peppers and flowers. The zinnias definitely are ready to be transplanted. I got some pots ready for those. And then the peppers, I'm just going to up pot those. Most of the flowers I can put where they're going to live for the season because I do put a lot of those in pots. But the peppers, they need some real soil and some nutrition, as you can see by the leaves. So I'm going to get those up potted today as well. All right, so that stuff I really want to get up potted today, get some things rearranged because I do really want to start my non-experimental tomatoes in the next week. So I need to clear up some of the space inside under my grow lights to do that. And then the next thing I need to do today is count. I need to do some math. So I think I shared 2 videos ago now, these garden beds here in the greenhouse. I have these metal raised beds, and they don't hold heat very well. So when I was digging them out this winter, because of the bulbs, the stupid bulbs, when I was digging them out, the dirt around the edges of them was just so rock hard because it was solid. It was frozen solid. So all right, so we're going to take out the metal, and then we're going to build up these raised beds with brick instead. And the brick is going to absorb heat during the day, and then it slowly releases it during the night. So it's just going to help stabilize the temperature in here a little bit better. And we have to get that going in the next couple of weeks because I can plant out in the greenhouse a lot sooner than I can outside. And so I have a bunch of stuff like the onions and the peppers and some of the tomatoes that are going to go in here, and I already have the starts going. And so we're limited on how much time we have to do this project. So I'm going to bring you down here really quick. So, all right. So down here, this is the base of the raised beds. We have 2 layers of brick right now. So these beds are actually on top of grass. So out from the side of my house, there was 3 feet of concrete, and then we built the raised beds over here. We built them on top of what used to be grass. So all we did was line where the raised beds were going to go with brick so that we could level out all of these beds. Now, that was a really good idea at the time, but what happened was those stupid voles came in and they burrowed underneath because it was only 2 bricks tall under here. That's not very far all the way around for the little critters to burrow underneath. So when I was digging these out, my husband was like, well, while you're doing this, let's just take this metal out, this metal part. We're going to move these metal raised beds outside and we're going to replace them with brick. We're probably only going to build them up about this far. So they're not going to be as tall as these raised beds, but that's actually fine because I don't have that much vertical space in here. As you can see, it's a slanted ceiling. So if we lower the raised beds just a little bit, that's going to be perfectly fine. We're going to lay down the hardware cloth so that little critters can't burrow underneath and get to our plants. And then we're going to only build up probably about half as much. We're only going to build up about half as far with the brick. But that does mean I need to count. So what I'm going to also do today is go down and I'm going to measure each side. And I believe we only did 1 layer of bricks in between. Well, 1 brick wide so that we could rest the edges of the raised beds on them. So I don't think that there's 2 separate. I think there's only 1 going to divide each one. So I'll probably just keep that. And then I will go down and just measure and then count and then come up with a number for how much more brick we're going to need because we got to get this thing going. And then I got to show you, look at the artichokes. Don't they look cool? They look like, I don't know, they're like fuzzy. They look and sparkly. I don't know, they look shiny. They look really cool. And then look at all that beautiful chamomile, guys. It's looking gorgeous. Got some black swan poppies. And then over here, my rhubarb is actually looking really good. My rhubarb is looking really good. And then the lupine, goji berry coming along. Random chamomile seed popped into that tray. They're so tiny. They're really hard to keep track of. And then this is the sweet alyssum. It's doing pretty good. All right, so we're going to start up potting. So this last year, I usually up pot my tomatoes and peppers into just solo cups. This is like the fancy color Easter kind that I got last year, and they come in like a 500 pack. And so I just take the ones that we're done with after a party and I save them. And I usually use those for my peppers and my tomatoes. And that makes it really easy to like give away extras when you have them. But last year, at the end of last season, there was a sale at My Gardener for these Bootstrap Farmer 4-inch pots. And I got some of these, but I did not get nearly enough. And I have, anyone else hate bugs? Ugh, so not a bug person. So, I got these at the end of last season, and my plan was to put tomatoes and peppers in these, but I didn't get nearly enough. I don't really know what I was thinking, only getting, I think I got like a 10-pack or something. So I don't have enough to do them all in this. I literally only have one available right now because I put my onions in them. And I can't put my onions out yet because we're still working on the garden beds. So I'm going to put one lonely tomato in this pot, and then I'm going to put the rest in these lovely solo cups. And I think I have enough of them, but I guess we'll see. I also did not realize I'm going to have to put this basil in a pot, and then, which is fine. There's enough basil here. Like, there's not a ton. I didn't start a ton. So if I need to, I can just put this in a small pot and take it inside and keep it in my kitchen. But I didn't realize I forgot that I had extra lettuce too. So I'm going to have to find a place to put this. I think there might be room in my green stocks somewhere. Maybe there are places where strawberries didn't come up. So I'll have to hunt around for a spot to put these. But my goal today is to clear out as much of this as I can so that I can start my next round of spring and summer crops. So I also have some zinnias and aster and I think straw flower. I don't know. I'll have to look. Some milkweed over here. I have a bunch of flowers, and that I'm going to put directly into little containers that's just where it's going to live for the season. And I can put those containers in the greenhouse for now, so that they're not constantly going with that touching, freezing, and then going back up to really warm and then back and forth. So I'm going to do that today. I got sidetracked a little bit because it is now spring, and I hate bugs. It's now spring, and the wasps are back. And so if you see me spring back or run away randomly, it's because the wasps are back. And we have wasp traps that I set out every year, and I got the refills for them at the store this morning, and I had big plans to wash out the old containers and put the new refill stuff in. And the second I brought out the containers and took them apart to spray them down, they're being swarmed with wasps. Right now there's like 4 or 5 on each container over there, and so I don't want to go near it now. So I'll have to wait until the sun goes down to deal with those. But that means that they're still hovering around me right now. So I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I possibly can.
Alright, so my mic cut out right here, but I was just saying that this is why I overseed when I'm planting tomatoes especially, is because one of these cells, nothing germinated, and then the other cell, I got two to pop up. And if you don't overseed, then not only will you not have enough plants, but you'll lose the amount of time that you just wasted waiting for these things to come up. And so I would rather have too many plants and then parse out and be able to give them away as gifts or find another place to put them than have to wait another couple of weeks. And this is honestly something that happens just because of the area that I live in. We don't have a super long growing season here. Our last frost date is usually early May, and then our first frost date is early October. And so it's not super short or anything, but it is short enough that I don't want to waste a couple of weeks trying to regerminate starts. So it's just easier to overseed and then parse out as needed. right, so here's the state of what is left over. I did not get to the peppers today. There was just too much going on, too many projects to try to squeeze into one afternoon, and that is okay. I will get to those probably tomorrow. I really do need to prioritize doing those next because they're starting to look a little stressed. They just need better soil, more nutrition. It's just time for them to get up potted. So I do need to do that soon, but there just wasn't time today. But we're gonna wrap up because it's starting to get late. And I just want to thank you for coming along today. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you next time. Bye.